Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Um, I know we're not a big channel and not so many people follow it, as I just put videos up of the loft performance. But if there is anybody out there that can help, advice is always handy to have. But I took a question out there for fanciers who do take the time to watch. This year, through the pandemic and the last 18 months, I've got back into racing pigeons, and I sat down and watched a lot of pigeon videos and things like that, and it's given me the urge to get back into pigeon racing. Anyway, cut a long story short, I went out, I purchased a new loft, purchased new birds, I searched the internet and did a lot of research on who to get and what to get. And because I'm the only pigeon fancier within 50 miles of me here, I thought, well, there's no good me going out and buying sprint pigeons and things like that, because I'm not going to live with people, 50 miles down the road, and doing a dog leg on a Saturday afternoon with the pigeons. So I purchased a lot of long distance pigeons. Anyway, the old bird season, I only had 20 old birds and ended up with 4. Now, bearing in mind, these 4 pigeons that are left, they were from the ages of 2019, and that was it. And we trained them well and looked after them really well, given the best corns, did everything, that I've known over the years, learnt off an old fancier that I used to be in partnership with, and put things into the test, and they worked out. And finally, the loft brought us a first section in the Welsh South Road National, Guernsey, 250 miles. And there's me saying, oh, it's not a sprint and things like that. But no, it wasn't. It was a very difficult race. And the pigeon, a John Arden-based pigeon, put his head down, an old timer, and he come home. And he got us that position, which, really has inspired me to carry on with the young birds. So, young birds, I bred and purchased a team of 60 young'uns, and this was the race program that I had given them. They had 4 tosses, they had 6 tosses up to 6 miles. They had one at 2 miles, just to get used to the basket, and then 6 miles there, tosses up 5 times at that. And also been hit as well by the falcon at 6 miles, and touch wood, we never lost a pigeon from there. But they had already had 4 or 5 tosses in the basket in the vicinity where you could see home. Anyway, so that was that. So we went to 6 mile, and we gave them, as I said, 6 tosses from there. We then proceeded to 12 mile. They had 4 miles there. They had 4 tosses there. They were a bit slow coming, and then I spoke to another fancy. He said, move them on. So I jumped them then to 25 mile. And as I was turning back into the loft, the pigeons, as I was turning in, they dropped, and I thought, okay, that's better. So anyway, the next time I took them there, they were back before me. Okay, so I didn't want to leave them there too long, so I moved on. So then I moved them to 40 mile. Moved them on to 40 mile, put them up, got back. Now that 40 mile is about an hour and 15 miles by road, because we haven't got the best of roads here. As I got into the yard, I walked down to the loft, and there was 2 pigeons on my shed, waiting to go. Well, they had they could get in, but they hadn't got in. So I asked my my mother, who was sitting there, and she said, "Oh no, they're all here." But I had this problem of them landing on a garage roof, and she said they were there within an hour and 5-10 minutes, something like that. Counted them in. We were about 2 or 3 light, which you're going to understandable. That's fair enough. You're going to lose pigeons. Now then, what I must explain was, with these 60 pigeons that we had, I had now only lost 3 pigeons. I'd only lost 3 pigeons. And there's no point lying to anybody, because you get caught out and you're only lying to yourself. Out of the 60 pigeons, I was still basketing 57. Anyway, after that then, I looked at the map and I saw where the clubs were. Now, I'm on the west coast of Wales, and the clubs below me, which is Carmarthen Racing Pigeon Club, and they fly in the Pembrokeshire Fed, which is the West Wales Federation. So they're all the bottom half of Wales. So I thought, okay, so I moved them over then to a 60-mile toss to a place called, well, it's a few miles short of the M4. So, the beginning of the M4. So, I chucked them up there, 60 miles, and really speaking, I was counting my luck really, because them pigeons had gone out, and it was a hot day, and I thought, oh God, and you're talking 27, 28 degrees. So up they went. They did one turn, and headed for home. When I got home, I didn't see anything. Anyway, from 60 mile, they came an hour and 40 minutes. And out of that time, I dropped another, I think it was 3 pigeons. That's right, yeah, 3 pigeons I dropped from there. But then I've had pigeons returned from that toss as well. Going up to the Saturday, then this is where I can't understand. Now, these pigeons, I've had 17 tosses up to 60 mile. And I have purchased good pigeons, and I know they're good pigeons. And they've been performing well in the basket, and I cannot complain about it. I put them into my first race on Saturday. I put 12 into the club, knowing I'm not going to compete against the boys down there. And to be honest, the lads in the club are keen and they're good flyers, and they deserve to whoop you every week because they put in the work as well. But what's disappointing to me is out of that 12, I'm miscounting 8. And I can't understand, and I hope that a fancier can comment on this, why is it that I can't get them pigeons to come from the race? I was a bit disappointed, but you always get that gut feeling to say, oh, you're going to get a hide in today, and oh, the hawk's going to split them, and this, that, and that. From the time I put these birds in that basket, I've never had this gut feeling. And every time them pigeons have come on a training toss, they have come in a batch. So they've been left alone, and I put them into the first Fed race on Sunday, and a bit disappointed because we're 8 adrift. So it's back to the drawing board, and I think to myself, well, where do I go by here? But if any fancier could pinpoint what it is, the birds have the best corn, they're looked after well. The average day fancier, which I put myself as, has done everything right, what I could have. The birds are a picture of health. I don't use medication. I will use coccidiosis medicines and canker medicines, and that's about it, nothing else. But I just a bit disappointed that we're 8 adrift, because I knew that them 8 could have made it. So if there's any fanciers out there that could suggest it, I'd be more than happy to listen to it, because as I said, I had 52 ready to pick from on the Saturday, and as I said, I'm 8 adrift now. So I'm down to 41, 42 after having 1 or 2 back from a training toss as well. So if there is anybody out there that can help, I'd be more than happy to listen to. Perhaps it's because, you know, it was a short training toss of 60, I think it was 68 miles to me. So whether the pigeons got their heads down and just followed the crowd and ended up in Tesco's, I haven't got a clue, but they didn't end up home. Yeah, it's just a little video just to see if anybody can put me on the straight and narrow. Anyway, all the best, and I'll let you know how next week goes. And I hope you have good racing. Persevere, because it does come right in the end. All the best, boys. Speak to you soon. Ta-ra.